Okay, yeah, we'll definitely look into it.
Yeah.
Ooh, we can stay a while, huh?
Ooh, we can stay a while? What do you want to do? Go to menu or stay a while?
What happens if we stay a while?
Oh.
5 years later.
Ooh.
Seriously, this is gonna be such a good fucking time. You'll be glad you came. The big grizzly bear nudges the coyote playfully, almost knocking the canine out into the passenger window.
Ow. Keep your paws on the wheel. Or your paw, at least.
Cameron eyes the giant half-eaten burger and the bear's equally giant paw. Dev's, the other paw casually steers the wheel, elbow resting out through the open window. The bear looks happier than he's been in a while, somehow grinning as he chews. The coyote sighs and stares at his own window, watching the desert landscape fly by. It was nothing like this in his hometown, and he found himself wishing he was back amongst the pine forests. Something he'd been wishing since he moved to Pueblo for school. Technically, this was his natural habitat, but he found the whole place depressing somehow. Empty and dry and rough, with sand gets everywhere. What you pouting for?
I'm not pouting.
Yeah, you are. Cameron sighs, deciding to change the subject.
So why couldn't Larry go again?
I don't know. Said something about his car breaking down. He just flaked the.
Aren't there other haunted places in Pueblo that we could have gone to? Like by the school?
The bear shakes his head, letting go of the wheel to crumple up the foil that had packaged his sandwich, tossing it into the back. Not like Echo, dude. This place is some of the most haunted. This is the most haunted town in the entire fucking world. Cameron sighs once again, then suddenly grasps his seat as the car swerves and turns hard onto a smaller road, heading towards a big blue lake.
What was that?
Whoopsie! Sorry, almost missed the turn. The drive continues, and eventually, the map on the dash chimes, indicating that they've reached their destination.
Why?
Because a lot of shit happened here. The grizzly hops out of the car, making the entire thing tilt sideways as he squeaks his bulk out before reaching back for the camera bag. He takes out a small compact camcorder from inside and wraps it around his wrist. He flicks the switch on, and Cameron sees the familiar red recording light flashing. He points the lens at the coyote, and he quickly covers his face, letting out a frustrated sigh.
No, I'm not the horror you're after, Dev.
With that, he unbuckles and slides out of the car. The bear waits for him, reaching out a large padded paw. Cameron takes it and is immediately drawn into a tight embrace and a kiss. Coyote tenses up for a moment, then waits until Devon releases him.
Oh, can you not do that right after you eat a big meal? A big greasy burger?
Cameron makes a show of wiping his lips. Devon rolls his eyes. No pleasing you, is there? Nevertheless, the grizzly holds out his paw again, and Cameron takes it, the two of them walking towards the town center. It's not a pleasant walk. Most of the infrastructure is in pretty shoddy condition. Overgrown in places, sagebrush and dry vegetation.
So, where are we meeting this guy?
I told you, the old civic building.
Wait, you mean City Hall?
Cameron recalls the late night rants with Devon over the phone, the bear regaling every last detail of the incident.
Where they shot the mayor?
Yep. The coyote releases his paw from the large clawed grip of his boyfriend, peering up at him with slightly wider eyes.
Damn, are you absolutely sure he's okay with this?
Yeah, look, he's the one who did the report on this town after the happening in the first place. Devon tries to put on a reassuring smile. He seems keenly aware that folks sometimes find his large predator grin unnerving. But Cameron always told him it was cute. And he's gay, so, totally trustworthy instantly. The bear
Yeah.
Totally. The bear rewraps his paw around Cameron's own. No need to be so worried about that. Eventually, the two reach the old town center. Sure enough, there's a man standing in the gravel parking lot with his paws in his pockets. He doesn't appear to notice the two at first, and Devon takes the opportunity to film him from afar. The sun's behind him, so it cast his front in shadowed silhouette, giving him an eerie visage, which he might be able to use in the video, especially for the thumbnail.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, that
Mm,
ghost of Echo.
the
The civic building's
ghost.
roof. The civic building's roof is fully collapsed. Faded gray tarp over the top of the walls, all that's protecting the interior. Like most of the structures they passed on the way in, a laminated notice of condemnation stamped with the county seal is posted to the front door. After about 15 seconds or so, it's fairly clear that the older guy is aware of the two college kids' presence as he cants his head in their direction. They quickly shuffle up, wearing sheepish smiles and already sweat-stained clothing. Chase? Yo.
Hi.
The bearded otter seems to be looking at their held paws, which they quickly unclasp and shake his own in turn. He offers them a sort of melancholy smile. You two been together long?
Oh, sorta.
The coyote rubs the back of his neck, the bear wrapping an arm around his shoulder. Yep, wow. Must have been tough growing up in the sticks out here. For a gay guy, especially. Chase lets out Chase lets out a little amused grunt, reaching into his pocket and withdrawing a pack of cigarettes. Eh, I guess. I mean, I did have a boyfriend growing up here for a while, so I friggin' lucked out there. If I recall, he was the one who helped you out during the incident, right? Leon? Leo. Right. He quickly nods, muttering something about how he should know that before adjusting the camera on the shoulder. How's he doing? I don't know. He doesn't really talk to me anymore.
Oh, well, regardless. Must have been tough being the only gay kids out here growing up.
Yeah, us and one other guy. He sniffs, looking off to the side. You mind if I smoke?
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, plenty of fresh air out here. I don't mind. The other nods, sticking the cigarette between his lips and flicking the lighter. However, he doesn't bring the flame up, instead just holding it out in front of him. The seconds pass, and slowly he lifts the lighter in the direction of the old civic building. Cameron and Devon watch the otter expectantly. After everything he's been through, some oddball behavior is to be expected, after all. So, I'm a big fan of your original report you did. Hell, I did my own little video on what happened when I was first starting my channel. I know. You used a lot of my footage. Devon begins looking a little nervous, laughing some to try and lighten the mood. I credited you, of course. I'm just some haunting vlogger. You're like a professional journalist and everything. Chase finally lights his cigarette. Was. Huh? Was a professional journalist. I just got pushed out of my reporting gig with KGUA like 2 years ago now. No one liked my stuff anymore. No matter what I did, it wasn't ever as good as that piece I finished in college. Devon blinks. I'm sorry to hear that. He pauses, thinking to himself for a moment. You know, those news media companies are all fascist shit factories anyway.
Yeah,
Without all the big billionaire funding, they'd be going the way of the dinosaurs, relegated to sports and weather for senior citizens. Chase stares blankly up at the much taller bear, unsure of how to respond to that. Devin clears his throat. And, your social media profile said you were still. I haven't updated that in a while. Ah. Chase takes a long drag from his cigarette, stopping at the first speed bump. He seems to become increasingly aware of the uneasy stares from the two college kids in front of him. I'm sorry. It's been a difficult few years for me. The statement from the otter makes sense, looking at him now. He's awfully haggard for someone in his mid to late 20s. His facial scruff untrimmed and the dye job looking less than stellar. Cameron can't help but think he'd be kind of cute if he cleaned himself up a bit. Or perhaps he just has a thing for sad eyes. Said sad eyes were fixated on the Civic building now, Chase's lips thinning tightly around his cigarette, squeezing ash from the tip. The coyote steps up, placing a paw on the otter's shoulder.
it's all right. We don't want to put any undue pressure on you. Right, Dev?
Right. Devin sounds genuinely supportive. Chase can see why Cameron might be so taken with him. It would be nice to have something like that again, and he finds himself relishing the paw on his shoulder. He didn't realize how he didn't realize he was so touch starved. Still, Chase can't help but avoid their reassuring gazes, the otter rubbing at the old spider bite mark on his neck. Let's uh let's begin, shall we? The trio began to head northward, past the burnt out, newer building that went up in smoke during the hysteria. Devon finds an odd looking globe, broken in the middle of the road. Cameron offers to carry it with him, though Devon seems rather adamant about not looting anything. Chase doesn't appear to care either way. Eventually, they arrive on the outskirts of the nearby mine, warning sign posted damn near everywhere. It looks like barbed wire fencing had started being erected along the main entrance. Though, Chase mentions the county gave up on trying to fully enclose it a couple of months ago, after folk kept cutting through it. So, there's more than one entrance to the mine here. They're all barred off now. I mean, the main entrance was locked up tight, even before the crap show 5 years ago. Devin sets up his tripod, pointing it towards the black void between the rocks. This is where they found the bodies? Chase shakes his head. That was off. That was off the side entrance in the A level. This is the main entrance. It goes all the way from A to F level.
How deep is that?
It depends. The deepest shaft goes down to 1,900 feet.
Jeez.
Chase holds up his hand, gesturing behind him. It's been like half a century since the mine's been active, so rotting supports and the like most certainly have caved in most of it. Devon nods, a tight frown crossing the bear's broad muzzle. It's clear he's got something on his mind. What about, that one guy? Huh? The mayor's nephew. I read the reports and all, but what's your take on what happened? Chase hesitates for a moment, having not expected the question, or at least hoping it wouldn't come up at all. The otter steps back, bringing his fingertips to the bars of the mine. He touches them in the cave wall that they're embedded in. He draws back and shows the two his blackened fingertips. The cave is scorched. Well, the theory is that there were flammable gases that were ignited in the lowest levels. It created this sustained burn that started billowing smoke up in the air for a couple of weeks after the whole happening. Yeah, I knew that, but why did he walk inside while it was like that? You were the one. You were one of the last people to see him, after all. And those other two, they said they couldn't stop him after you left. Chase looks away, staring off into space. No. He says nothing, and soon Devon and Cameron are exchanging nervous glances with one another. Next thing they know, the otter is walking off without another word. Wait, hold on! He swears under his breath. Cameron looking on with crossed arms as Chase heads towards his car. Ah, fuck.
He's not gonna. Oh, damn. He totally is.
What the hell? Devon whines. Fuck. I was being insensitive, wasn't I?
You never know when you strike a nerve with these kinds of things.
These kinds of things? You know what I mean? Devon quirks a curious brow towards the coyote. Though judging from his grimaced reaction, Cam regrets bringing it up and doesn't speak further. They hear the sound of an engine starting in the distance. Devon sighs.
Good thing we brought our Jeep instead of riding with him, eh?
Fuck. Cameron frowns, reaching up and holding the big guy's arm.
Hey, don't worry. I'll get the camera. Exploring on our own could be pretty cool, right?
The bear's nostrils flare in a hefty exhale. Yeah, I'll pull the Jeep around. Cameron gives Devon a thumbs up before moving to grab the camera. As he's about to close the viewfinder's display, he notices a green square appear in the center of the frame. He leans down to look more closely, pressing the display adjust button. Face detection. Disable. The square vanishes.
Huh?
He hits the button again. The square returns.
That's weird.
He flicks the switch on to the side to auto-white balance the image. The whole screen flashes as the lens adjusts, and it comes into focus.
Fuck!
Go for it, Cameron.
Fuck!
The lizard stands in the darkness behind the bars. But he can't stare, not really, because his eyes are gone. Half of his muzzle missing. Cameron jumps back, tripping over the rocks and landing hard on the sharp edges. The coyote hisses in pain, but fear spurns him on, trying to scramble up the rocks after Devon. The bear's already turned around, though, reaching down to pull Cameron up. Shit! You alright? What happened? As Cameron clings to the large bear, he looks back, but nothing's there.
I don't know. I saw...
Devon looks in the same direction, squinting. Cameron stares a while longer, then turns back and shakes his head against Dev's chest. When Cameron looks up at the bear, he's grinning, though. Holy shit! Did you see a ghost? Coyote scowls.
What? No, I just thought I saw something. It was probably the camera glitching out.
The bear gives him a knowing smile.
What?
You're gonna be a believer by the end of all this. I know it. The grizzly hugs him tightly as Cameron frowns. Still looking back at the cavern's entrance. It had been so real. His eyes even look like sockets. But before he can even readily collect himself, Devon is pulling him and the camera along, back to the Jeep. Until they look at the footage, and holy shit! Alright, everyone.
All
That's
right.
all the time I have for tonight to stream. So I will catch you all later.
That was a good amount. Thank you, Finn. Almost called you Flynn.
Flynn? Oh!
Oh, you're a suck it, man. Suck it, man.
Alright, Carl, I'll see you later.
All right, man. Have fun at work. Bye.